Hey everybody. What you're about to watch is The Case of the Midnight Murderer. This is the first ever feature-length animated movie I ever made. This started out as a writing exercise. I had written a short story called The Case of the Midnight Murderer when I was in high school, and I think it might be kind of fun to try to adapt this into a feature script. But the next thing I knew, I was doing storyboards and designing characters, and I ended up making the whole damn movie. I did it for no money. I did all the animation myself. I enlisted friends and family to be voices as well as voices of my own. I got a couple songs donated to it, and I edited together a whole bunch of royalty-free music. It's definitely rough around the edges, but it was a major learning experience. I released it originally around 2012. Got into some film festivals, won a couple of awards even, and learned a whole bunch while I was making it. So I probably would do everything differently next time, but hopefully this is just one of many steps towards wherever I wind up next. So here it is, and when you're done, maybe check out the commentary that is also available on this channel, where I'll point out all the stuff that I would do differently next time, and things that I learned, and how I did some stuff. So check it out. If you like old movies, maybe you'll pick up on a whole bunch of Easter eggs. So enjoy, hopefully.
There was a time when private dicks were a dime a dozen. 2-bit badge and revolver for every lost cat, stolen wallet, missing kid, or cheating spouse. Hell of a life if you got the stomach for it. But every once in a while, something big lands on your doorstep. Something deadly, dangerous, and a whole heap of trouble. And in the town of Palookaville, trouble ain't hard to find. It all started about 3 years ago, when hats and trench coats were found on pretty much everybody on the streets. Or in local colleges, guys be wearing raccoon jackets. Maybe while swallowing a goldfish or two. Flared skirts and ponytails wandered the school halls as well. The war was over. Barely. Cigarettes were considered nutritious. And in nightclubs, folks were doing a little dance called the jitterbug. While listening to big band music and the celebrity tunes of people like the Andrews Sisters, Ella Fitzgerald, Cab Calloway, Louis Armstrong, and some of the shiniest brass you ever saw. At home, you were stuck with the radio. Not that we minded at all. For some moving pictures, you'd go to the cinema and catch stars like Bogart, Bergman, Grant, Cagney, and Stewart. And it was the golden age of animation.
Hang on a minute, doll. Let's wait for these people to get back to their seats.
Well, maybe it wasn't 3 years ago. Maybe it was closer to 73 years ago.
Josh!
Ah, hell.
Why have you been following me?
It was your wife. She thought you were sleeping with your secretary. She wanted me to see for sure.
And what did you see?
He was awful hairy for a secretary.
I'm gonna...
Nice try, big guy, but you gotta get up pretty early in the...
Well, there goes that paycheck. That was the 5th paycheck I'd lost in a month. Starting up a PI business in a town like this comes with a one-way ticket to you-know-where. But hey, that's Palookaville for you. Hunting for lost cats ain't exactly fun. Searching for stolen wallets ain't real easy. And taking pictures of cheating husbands sure ain't glamorous. But it's a hell of a way to start an evening. Within the hour, I was back at the office to finish off the night. And it was a lousy night. Rain poured more that night than in the past month. I was sitting at my desk, in my chair. It was an uncomfortable chair. It was made of hard wood that made your ass feel sore after sitting on it. It made sense, though. I'd found it in a garbage dump 2 days before. I was trying to figure out what it said on the glass part of my door. It was hard to tell, since I was looking at it backwards. But then it hit me. James Dashel. That's what they called me. They called me that because that's my name. It makes sense, really. Because if my name wasn't James, they probably wouldn't call me that. They'd call me Bob, or Joe, or Gunther, whatever my name might be. Then I got a buzz from my secretary, Milda Marshmallow. A good dame, but a slow dame, who constantly chews gum and can really get on your nerves.
Someone to see you, Mr. D?
Alright, Milda. Send him in. Send him in, Milda. Then she walked into my life. I wish she hadn't, though. If I had a time machine, I'd go back in time and lock the door so she couldn't walk into my life. I knew she was trouble from the moment I laid eyes on her, hiding her face behind that veil like some concubine in a sword and sandal flick. Maybe she had a zit.
Are you the detective? My name is Wanda Warren Doffley Keifenstein, but you can call me Carol. I need help.
Don't worry, lady. I can help you. I can find ice cubes in a freezer, but I'll need payment in advance.
Don't worry. I have a coupon.
Alright, now what's the problem?
Jesus.
My brother, sister's, aunt's, uncle's, mother's, friend's son was murdered.
Really? By who?
I don't know. I wouldn't be here if I did.
Oh. Any idea of who it could have been? Anyone who might want to kill your sister's aunt's, uncle's, mother's, friend's son?
Well, Steve had just fired a busboy from his restaurant.
Steve?
Yes. Steve Warren Doffley Keifenstein. My brother, sister's, aunt's, uncle's, mother's, friend's son.
Oh, carry on.
He had just fired a busboy from his restaurant. He was 44, 45 years old.
Steve?
No, the busboy.
So what's the busboy's name?
I don't know if I've ever actually met him myself.
I see. Carry on.
Well, anyway, the busboy, he was 44, 45 years old. Probably couldn't get a job anywhere else. I've heard stories about him in the past. He comes from a rich family, but he ran away when he was 30. He wanted to be a bookie, but his parents insisted he become a delivery driver. That's pretty much all I know about him. I think he's been working for Steve ever since he ran away from home.
That'd be a good 14, 15 years as a busboy. Where are you going with this, Carol?
He could be the killer. Maybe for revenge because he was fired? Or, if he went back home to his rich family, maybe he could have hired someone. A hitman, an assassin, a hired gun.
How was Steve killed?
He was stabbed 3 times in the back.
Stabbed in the back.
Cowards.
You know where the busboy lives? I'll look into it.
No, but if you go to the restaurant, you might be able to find out. A waiter or somebody can probably point you in the right direction.
So the restaurant's still open?
Yes, Steve loved his business. He wouldn't want us to close down, even temporarily.
Where was Steve killed?
The kitchen.
I see. Were you there?
No, nobody was there. I hang around the business a lot, but never past 9. I listen to the adventures of the Thin Man on the radio.
That's a good show.
Yes, it is. The restaurant's closed now, but they'll be opening tomorrow around 10.
I'll be there.
Thank you. I'm sure you'll be successful.
Don't worry, Carol. I don't know the meaning of the word failure. Hell, I don't even know how to spell failure.
Good.
I'm turning in for the night, Milda. Need a ride?
No thanks, still got lots of work to catch up on here.
I can see that. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sure thing.
Hi, Sam.
How you doing, Marshall?
Not bad. Got some work.
Heard you're working the Warren Dolphick-Hyphenstein case.
Yep. Carol came by about an hour ago.
Carol?
Wanda Warren Duffley Kiefenstein. Her sister's aunt's uncle's mother's friend's son was murdered.
So I've heard.
What do you want, Sam? Want to offer me a job on the force?
No, Dashiell. You know I couldn't do that. You failed the academy for a reason.
Well, they get up so early.
Are you aware that another restaurant owner was killed on the same street as Steve Warren Dolphick-Hyphenstein only 2 nights before?
No. Wasn't aware of that, no.
Carol didn't tell you.
Maybe she didn't know.
Maybe. Maybe she didn't want you to know.
What are you driving at, Sam?
You find it the least bit odd that a person's sister's, aunt's, uncle's, mother's friend's son gets murdered and she doesn't call the police?
Well, maybe my reputation recedes me.
What?
My reputation recedes...
Recedes? I think you mean precedes.
Precedes? Are you sure?
Well, it's not recedes.
Well, precedes doesn't sound right.
Well, it doesn't matter. Why didn't she call the police?
I don't know, Sam.
I think there's more to this story than either of us know. Both murders, said to have happened at midnight. Press has already gotten word. It'll be in the morning paper. The midnight murderer just might have ourselves a serial on our hands here. Dashiell, watch your back.
Thanks for the tip.
And don't get in our way. Police work takes precedent in these matters.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah?
If she never called the cops, how'd you guys know he was murdered?
Nothing happens in this town without me knowing about it.
Right. Sam Gumshoe. Hard-nailed cop? Sure. But a nice enough guy, I guess. Known him since I flunked out of the academy. Loves his tobacco as much as his wife. Nice lady. Makes a mean casserole. Home sweet home. Driscoll Apartments. Not exactly the Ritz. Of course, it's not a hotel, so that's probably not a fair comparison. But if there's a fancy, famous apartment building out there somewhere, it's probably safe to say it's better than this place. Pretty sad, huh? Well, don't be. I may not look as ecstatic as a kid at Christmas, but I was happier than a monkey on a rock. The truth is, the private detective business ain't exactly the most profitable of professions. Some people can handle it, others can't. You might say I was stuck somewhere in between. Maybe I wasn't racking in wads of cash every night. Maybe I didn't have a girl at my side. But I had a full stomach and a roof over my head. This just in. Steve Warren Duffley Kiefenstein was found dead in the kitchen of his local pizza restaurant. The body was found in a similar fashion as another murder victim 2 nights ago by the name of Martin McKimson. I just gotten a shot at the big time. A real live murder case. And even if I was chopping off 30% of the fee, I was planning on milking the glory for everything it was worth. Of course. First, I had to catch the midnight murderer. If I were a cop, taking a look at a body in the morgue would probably be common practice. Unfortunately, I was just a dick, and I was going to need to grease the wheels a bit to get where I wanted to go. Luckily, I always was a smooth talker.
Paging Dr. Leach, Dr. Archibald Leach.
Just got off the phone with the mortuary. They'll be picking the body up sometime this morning, so you're gonna need to be quick.
Don't worry, miss. I finish everything fast.
It's my medical opinion that this man is dead.
You, Jerry?
Yes, but you should not be in here. Have you no respect for the dead?
My name's Dashiell. I'm a dick.
A dick?
I'm here to see Steve Warendorf Kiefenstein.
Well, I'm afraid Steve can't talk right now.
I know he's dead. I'm investigating his murder.
Murder? What makes you think it was murder?
The 3 stab wounds in his back didn't tip you off?
Oh, those. Those could have come from anywhere.
Look, I need to see his body. I was hired by his friend's mother's uncle's aunt's sister's brother's sister.
Carol?
Yeah, you know her?
Not personally, but I've heard about her. Her sister's aunt's uncle's mother's friend's son was obviously dead at the scene, but the poor girl insisted he be brought to the hospital. Just in case, she apparently said.
Huh. So can I see his body?
Yes, right this way? No. Definitely not. Who the hell is that? Oh, that's right. Ah! Here we go. Steve Warendorf Kiefenstein.
So, there anything weird about him?
You mean, besides being dead?
Yeah. You look at a lot of dead bodies, right?
And some very, undead bodies too, if you know what I mean.
Anything on this body stand out?
Just the stab wounds.
Bet that hurt.
Anything else I can help you with?
Is his hand cut?
Where?
Right there, between his fingers.
Let's see. Yep. Looks to me like he nicked himself there. And don't ask me how. You're the detective, right?
Yeah. Guess he could have got that from anywhere.
It's a pretty wimpy cut. My uncle almost lost a finger when he was washing dishes somewhere out of town.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks for your help. Gotta get going.
Ooh, I felt that. My last guy bled out something fierce.
I'm used to it. The next stop, Steve Warendorf Kiefenstein's restaurant, east of Eden. Now, I don't know what I was expecting to see in there, but somehow, it wasn't what I expected at all. place was doing better business than you'd expect from a crime scene. Although I'd bet you pretty much anything that these people had no idea what happened here just one night before. But no matter what their reason, it wouldn't last. I had a feeling this place wasn't going to be around much longer. The pizza was terrible.
You the guy that want to know about the busboy?
That'd be me, yeah.
What do you want to know?
Well, first of all, what's this guy's name?
Nobody really knows.
No one knows?
Nope.
How long has he worked here?
14, 15 years.
And nobody knows his name.
We're not exactly a close-knit group around here.
Do you know the other busboys' names?
Most of them. So maybe we didn't treat him nice as we could around here. That's no crime. But killing Mr. Warren Dofflik-Heifenstein, that's a crime. And this busboy deserves whatever's coming to him.
So you think he did it?
Of course he did. Makes sense, don't it? Guy just got fired, then his boss gets killed right after?
Did you actually see Mr. Warren Dofflik-Heifenstein fire him?
Nope. Because I fired him.
You fired him?
Huh? Under the boss's orders, of course.
Of course. Why did the boss want him fired?
Because he went nuts.
What do you mean he went nuts?
He started to act strange for some reason. No one knows why. Maybe just annoyed that we didn't know his name. Wasn't anything too extreme, though. Until one day he went really berserk, trashed a table. That was the day he got fired.
Which table?
That one.
Never had it cleaned up?
We're short a busboy.
What's your name again?
Bobby. Bobby Colfax.
So, what's your position here now that Mr. Warren Dofflik-Heifenstein is dead?
I'm the manager now.
That's a good step up for you then.
Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. I had nothing to do with this crime. I promise. You want to get some other illegal activity? Some of which I'm not very proud of? Go right ahead. But I ain't no killer.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, the busboy's your guy. I don't know nothing about police work, but he's got one of them motors.
Motors?
Yeah. You know, one of those things that makes you do stuff? Like kill a guy?
Oh, motives.
Yeah, motors.
Right. Well, the busboy may be the best suspect, but if nobody knows his name, finding him's sure gonna be a trick.
Trust me, detective. The boss was like, even if we're not all that close around here, he still knew how to treat his employees. That busboy's the only one around here that would have anything against him. Anything else I can help you out with, detective?
Yeah. Where was Mr. Warren Dofflik-Heifenstein killed?
The kitchen.
Can I see it?
Of course.
Back in the day, pizza joints weren't as easy to come by as they are now. And after seeing this kitchen, I'm guessing health inspectors weren't either. Guys didn't waste much time opening it back up, did you?
Luckily, Steve died after closing time, so we're back up and running the next morning.
Huh? Okay, everybody. Everybody, I've got a question or two for the lot of you.
Everybody shut up! This here's a detective. He's investigating the murder of Mr. Warren Dofflik-Heifenstein.
That's right. So please, a little respect. Because until further notice, there is nobody that can be trusted. Not even you. Yuck! Where were you the night of Warren Dofflik-Heifenstein's murder?
With a hooker.
Ha! A likely story.
He's telling the truth. He sees Candace every Thursday night.
And on Tuesdays.
I see her on Wednesdays.
I'm Fridays.
Who sees Candace on Monday? I should have known. So, I understand Mr. Warren Dofflik-Heifenstein was well liked.
He was a nice guy.
And yet, somebody decided to rub him out.
It was the busboy. The one that got fired.
Does anybody here know the name of that busboy? Interesting?
Are you done, detective?
Yes. Who sees Candace, the hooker, on the weekends?
I see her on Saturdays.
Who sees her on Sundays?
I think it was. The busboy. The one that killed Steve.
Are you sure?
Not positive, but I know she sees one of us on Sunday. Everybody's here, except the waiting staff. But they're all women.
Well then, I think I just found a lead. I need Candace's address. Thanks. I'll let you know if I find anything.
All I ask is a little of your time. Just a little of your heart.
Who?
Did I hear Bobby call
I'm
you,
Seamus.
What's that?
A private detective. There was something about her. Maybe it was the ridiculous outfit they had stitched around her. Or maybe it was the red hair that burned the retinas. Or the I'm cooler than that slut in the corner way about her. But she gave me a look I knew well. She wanted me. Either that or she had something in her teeth.
Are you here about Mr. Warren Doffley Keifenstein?
Yep.
Have the police found anything yet?
Well, I don't know about the police, but I'm hot on the killer's trail. There's no escaping me. I could find ice
Mr. Warren Doffley Keifenstein was a good man. He didn't deserve to die.
I don't think anybody deserves to die. But what I think doesn't amount to a whole hill of beans in this crazy world. Miss
Lund. Sheila Lund.
Nice name, Miss Lund.
Thank you. My mother gave it to me.
Hey waitress. Is that my pizza?
Guess I have to be going, detective. Maybe I'll see you later?
Maybe. Miss Lund.
Hey, aren't you Errol Flynn?
I'm on my way, whoever you are.
Go ahead, give me a reason. Anybody else want to be a hero?
Weavers trade, and every time
Guess that's the place.
Looked into her eyes, I saw
Asshole!
her young maid. So, looking for a good time there, sailor? From what I hear, you won't be disappointed, my friend.
Right.
Sure sounds like they have some real fun up there.
Pardon me, sir. Could I treat a fellow American to a meal?
Get lost, you freeloader.
Gotta say, I'd never been to a whorehouse before. And from what I could see so far, I hadn't missed much. The place smelled, felt, and looked old. The stairs beneath me could have snapped at any time. And to be honest, I don't know how anybody would have the energy to have any fun by the time they climbed all those friggin' stairs. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
That's the stuff. Oh, wow. You're an animal.
Hey! What the hell do you want?
I'm, looking for, Candace.
Well, you're not gonna find her here, are ya? Beat it!
You're not Candace?
I'm Mitzi.
Okay.
You're looking for Candace?
Yeah. Are you...
No, I'm Madame Darcy. I run this place.
Oh, well, I'm looking for Candace.
Are you a cop?
No, I'm a private investigator. I just need Candace's help to find someone.
I see. Well, Candace is with a client right now. I'm sure she'd be willing to help you, but you'll need to wait till she's finished.
Oh, right. Of course. Is there someplace I could wait?
Right this way, honey.
Excuse me. Cigarette?
No thanks, I'm good.
Hey, ain't you the dick from earlier?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
What do you think?
I asked who saw Candace.
Don't worry, relax, Gumshoe. This is my first time in this joint. Figure now the busboy's out of the picture, might be able to get a crack at Candace myself. I won't be getting any, work done. I'm just here to make the appointment before she gets booked up again.
Well, not until after I ask her some questions.
Do what you gotta do.
Right.
She looks nice, eh, buddy?
You know, I think I'm gonna wait up by the stairs.
Suit yourself, bud.
Enough with the bragging. It's not that big.
Ugh.
Oh, you again. Give me some space, creep.
Ah! God! Oh! Oh! Oh!
Oops.
Clumsy ox.
Well, look who's finally awake.
How long was I out?
All night. Had to move my last 2 clients because of you.
Clients?
Well, you can call them whatever you want, detective. But I think the word client sounds much classier than some of the other alternatives.
Detective?
Well, that's what you are, aren't you?
You take my wallet or something?
Now, where would I put a wallet?
I see your point.
I understand you were looking for me.
Was I?
I'm Candace.
Candace! What happened?
You took a tumble down the stairs thanks to one of our more active customers. Brute walks around here like he owns the place. None of the girls here really like him. But like any business, the customer is always right, I suppose.
Right, now I remember.
So now that you're feeling better, maybe we could get to whatever it was you wanted to ask me, so I could get back to some business of my own. But before you ask, just a fair warning, I'm not looking to get married.
I'm investigating the murder of Steve Warrenduff Leak Heifenstein. I've got a prime suspect, but I don't know his name, and neither do his coworkers. But it turns out he's a client of yours. Thought maybe you'd know his name?
Well, maybe I do, but you're gonna need to give me more than that to go on. I have many associates.
I bet. He's a busboy from east of Eaton. I think he's one of your Sunday regulars.
Oh, him. Yes, I know him. Sundays are generally pretty slow around here. With what, you know. So that narrows it down quite a bit.
Great. What's his name?
Now bear in mind, of course, that clients often use false names with us around here.
Sure. What's his name?
Fellow by the name of Jimmy Cagney.
Jimmy Cagney?
Now, I don't get to the cinema as much as I'd like to, but I have seen a few of those gangster pictures, and the man I'd see on Sundays doesn't look a thing like Cagney in the movies. So I don't know if that's really going to help you a whole lot.
Me neither.
What in God?
This is a bust. You're all under arrest.
No way!
Not a word, sir.
No. It's not how it looks. Oh. I didn't notice that.
Grab them, will ya?
Might want to grab your pants.
Yeah.
Jeez, not so rough.
You'll never take me alive, Kappas!
So how long have you been a dick?
A few years now. 3 or 4, I guess.
So how long is it? 3 or 4?
I don't know.
Don't you have a calendar?
So, how long have you been a,
Hooker?
Yeah.
5 years now. I have a calendar. Got it last Christmas. Got cats on it.
I'm more of a dog person myself.
Cats are cleaner.
If you say so.
Got a dog?
No?
Well, I have a cat. Or should I say the girls have a cat. Lives at the house. Or at least it did. Guess we'll be moving again.
Guess so.
So you ever solve any big cases?
I've had my share of success.
Like what?
Like infiltrating the city's police station?
Sam? What are you doing here?
I work here, remember?
Right. Well, it's not how it looks, I swear. I was just following a lead. I had to ask this girl here some questions.
That's why they found you with your pants down?
I got hit on the head.
I bet. And where's your other shoe?
It's a long story, Sam.
Uh-huh.
I'm serious.
You, Dashiell?
Yeah?
Your bail just cleared.
Milta! Thank you. You bring the shoes?
Yep, I brought the shoes.
Great.
I don't want to show no disrespect, sir, but my last paycheck bounced and now you got me coughing up wads of my own cash to bail you out of prison?
Hey, mind keeping that to a dull roar?
Sorry, Mr. D, but you know I got bills to pay, you know?
I know. But things have been kind of slow lately.
Lately?
Yes, lately. But once this Midnight Murderer gig comes through, I'll have more than enough cash to pay you up. And a high-profile case like this is bound to bring in more cases in the future.
Well, what are we gonna do in the meantime, then? I thought you were gonna ask for payment up front this time.
I did, but,
But what?
well, she, had a coupon.
A coupon? I told you. As soon as my daddy saw that in the paper that morning, he called me up and he said, you tell that loser boss of yours that if he ever wants to make any more money, he can't be offering discounts.
I thought it would be a good way to drum up some business. You know, establish some word of mouth. And it worked. Why do you think Carol came to us? Sure as hell wasn't because she thinks I'm a good detective.
I guess that's true.
Of course it is.
You really think you can find this Midnight Murderer guy?
Of course I can. I can find ice cubes in a
Because I read in the paper today that some people think he's actually been killing for years now, and they just didn't connect the dots before.
Really?
Uh-huh. Said he's one of them serial killers. Never got the recognition before.
I gotta read that article. No mention of me, huh?
No, but I read Blondie. I love Blondie. You read Blondie?
I've read a couple. Ah!
It's all right here, kid.
Rosalind Russell lost the Oscar?
Not that.
Over the past...
Past Blondie.
Okay. Over the past 4 years, several other restaurateurs have been killed from stab wounds late at night. The previous murders, however, were committed in long intervals, not drawing attention to the similarities. Now, however, with the undeniable relation between the Warendorf-Leek-Hyphenstein and McKimson murders, it is believed that the prior murders are likely related as well.
Keep going.
Wanda Warendorf-Leek-Hyphenstein, the friend's, mother's, uncle's, aunt's, sister's, brother's sister of the victim, has sought the aid of a local private detective. Hey, that's me! Who is said to be of diminished capacity. What?!
It goes on for a while, I'm telling you. There's more going on here than any of us know about.
Well, I'll know soon enough.
Detective, wait!
Candace.
I have something for you.
What?
I just thought of something that might help you find Jimmy Cagney.
What's that?
Well, he has a tendency to talk. You know, during...
Okay. And?
He's a movie fan.
A movie fan?
Yes, a movie fan.
So...
It's probably where he came up with the name, Jimmy Cagney. I usually try and tune him out, but some stuff still gets through, you know?
Uh-huh.
There's a theater on 34th Street.
I know the place.
He likes to go to the night shows on Saturdays.
Okay. And...
Today is Saturday, Detective.
Oh, so he might go there tonight.
Exactly. He might even live around there.
Great idea.
I must say, though, Jimmy Cagney, or whatever his name is, he doesn't seem like the type that could kill anybody.
You never know who's capable of killing anybody, Candace. This fella here, he may not seem like the cold-blooded killer type, may not seem like a bad guy at all, but then one day, maybe for a reason, maybe for nothing at all, he'll just snap and grab a knife. And when that happens, you just have to put your hands together and pray that somewhere out there, there's someone like me to come and clean up the mess.
Is that how he did it?
Who did what?
How Jimmy Cagney committed the murder, with a knife?
Steve Warendorf-Leek-Hyphenstein was stabbed 3 times in the back.
Huh.
What?
Well, his arms were scrawny, really. Even more than yours. It's hard to imagine he would even have the muscle to do such a thing. You sure it was him?
Nothing's for sure, Candace, but this guy, so far he's the only one with a motor.
A motor?
Yes, a motor. It's what makes a person do something. Like kill a man.
I think you mean motive.
Whatever I mean, I know what I mean, and that's all that matters. Because when it comes right down to it, it all means the same thing. And that's the truth.
Good luck, Detective.
Thanks, Candace.
There he is.
Hey, Dashiell, that the real reason you funked out of cabin?
No.
Good comeback.
Thanks.
Let's hear it for James Dasher, professional dick.
You flies down.
Damn it!
Now with a solid lead and a place to start, I was finally able to put my canine-like senses to good use. Do you know where I could find 34th Street?
Hey, aren't you Dick Powell?
No.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
The Geary Theater on 34th Street hadn't been around too long at that time, but the leery location and the stale popcorn didn't help business. In fact, it nearly killed it in the first year. But the locals frequented it enough to keep the doors open. Not enough to warrant a maintenance staff of any kind, but enough to keep the doors open. Paint peeled, brick cracked, and the low numbers kept the place as a third-run theater at best. Small, please. I hope this isn't one of those lame movies where the writer, director, and star are the same guy. Old one. Hey.
They've been at it for a good hour now.
Who? What?
They were here when I got here. Thought buttons were gonna start flying for a minute.
Night's still young.
They're not.
Well, maybe they're young at heart.
Maybe.
There I was again. The same look she gave me in the restaurant.
Sorry, I have something in my teeth.
Popcorn?
Yeah.
Not very good, is it?
Better than pizza at work.
Yeah, probably. You, come here often?
Not really. Not my first time, but it's been a while.
You ever see the busboy here?
Nope. That's why you're here?
Apparently the mystery busboy is a movie fan, and this is one of his regular hangouts.
One of the few people keeping this theater open, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I guess. So, you ever had any dealings with the busboy?
Not to speak of. He took a heavy tray off my hands once. Thanked him. Don't know if I've said 2 words to him since.
You seem sad. Are you?
Maybe a little. Lost my job today.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How come?
Restaurant's under new management. Guess they're gonna be making some changes. I'm just the first.
You close to Mr. Warren Duffley-Keifenstein?
Not like we were an item, but there were rumors.
What kind of rumors?
About me and Steve? I was trying to become a singer. Sang the upbeat, fast stuff. Had a hard time getting any recognition. I taught the Andrews sisters everything they know, but they're the famous ones. Pretty much ready to give up, till Steve Warren Duffley-Keifenstein gave me a job.
A waitress job?
In a restaurant with live music. Mr. Warren Duffley-Keifenstein said if I worked hard, Maybe one day, because maybe I could be on that stage, singing my heart out, bringing tears to people's eyes.
Some might say that was a pickup line.
Some did, hence the rumors.
You know, it's awfully dangerous for a young lady to be out by herself, this part of town, this time of night.
Awfully dangerous to be anywhere this time of night these days.
Guess you're right.
Think this midnight murderer really is the serial killer they're saying he is?
I think anything's possible.
True enough, you're a detective, and the paper said you're of diminished capacity.
Well, the paper got their facts mixed up. And let me tell you something about that hack Winchell. Have that guy's ever done any kind of research before?
Sorry. Guess he's kind of overrated.
You're damn right he's overrated.
So I guess the busboy isn't showing up tonight.
Not looking like it, is it?
Nope.
So the busboy didn't do it. Who do you think did?
Who's saying the busboy didn't do it?
Nobody. But anything's possible.
Who am I to say he's guilty or not?
Everyone else seems positive it was him.
Maybe they're right?
Maybe they're wrong.
Maybe. Who does Carol think killed him?
She was the first person to finger the busboy.
She's not as close to Steve Warren Doffley-Keifenstein as she might let on.
That's so.
Don't know if she told you this, detective, but Steve Warren Doffley-Keifenstein was not the only owner of that restaurant.
No?
He co-owned it with Marvin Warren Doffley-Keifenstein, Steve's brother, and Carol's husband.
So Wanda Warren Doffley-Keifenstein isn't really a Warren Doffley-Keifenstein?
Only by marriage. Marvin was killed in a car crash 2 years ago, and his share of the business was left to Carol. She had some ideas on how to improve the restaurant, and she'd been constantly arguing with Steve ever since.
She sure plays the distraught relative part well.
Before Marvin's death, they apparently got along really well, until the restaurant became half hers and she got power hungry. Who's to say anybody'd even question her relation to him?
Nobody. That's who.
So the busboy's still your prime suspect?
I don't know, Sheila. You've given me some stuff to think about.
Movie's ending.
I better get going then. Maybe somebody who works here can shine some light on this mysterious busboy.
Good luck, detective.
No such thing as luck. This crazy mixed up world we live in can be a dangerous place, and we gotta traverse it like a slow kid in a helmet. The problems of two people like you and me wouldn't amount to a hill of beans in a Frankfurter factory on the 4th of July. But you gotta make it work. I'm alright.
Hello there.
You got a name?
Yes, Noel.
Hello, Noel.
Enjoy the show?
Yeah. It was good.
Glad to hear it. You know, next week we're showing The Monkey's Paw.
Interesting. Think you'll ever show something more recent? Like from this year?
Well, Warner Brothers dropped off a reel of The Big Sleep last week by mistake, but they confiscated it the next day.
Oh. Well, anyway, Noel. I'm a detective.
Really?
Yes, really.
Neat.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking for one of your regulars. He's a busboy. Works at East of Eaton.
Sounds a little familiar. Yup. I think I know who you mean. Shy fellow, right?
From what I hear.
Comes here almost every Saturday.
Great. You know his name?
I believe it's Ron, or no, it's Rod. Yeah, that's right, Rod.
You know where he lives?
Somewhere around here, I believe. In an apartment building. Dandridge, that's it. The Dandridge building. Just down the street a ways, I believe.
Great. Thanks, Noel.
I like to help.
How long have you been working here?
Oh, about 6 years now.
Well, thanks again. Dandridge Apartments wasn't too far from the theater, but I walked good and slow. I wanted to think about the case, think about what to expect, and, more importantly, what not to expect. It was hard to focus, though. It was a gloomy night. Real gloomy. So gloomy, it'd make your skin crawl. So gloomy, it'd give you goosebumps. So gloomy. Well, you get the idea. The place was old. Smelled like the milk you'd find in the back of the fridge 5 weeks after the expiry date.
Hello there. Can I help you?
I'm looking for somebody by the name of Rod.
Rod?
Rod.
Oh, Rod. Yes, he lives here. Are you a friend?
I'm a detective.
Really? Is that the Warren Doffley-Keifenstein thing?
You know about it?
Yeah, it's all over the papers.
Papers? There's more than one now?
There's way more. This Warren Doffley-Hyphenstein case is the biggest news of the decade.
They mention me at all?
Not unless you're of diminished capacity. So, what's this Rod have to do with it?
He's, sorry, really shouldn't discuss the case.
Well, if he's a busboy, I think he is. What with the clothing and all, I'm betting he's your prime suspect. It's all right here in black and white.
Right. So where can I find this guy?
3rd floor, apartment 221B.
Thanks. Just then I got this strange vibe I couldn't explain. Something was telling me this doorman didn't like Rod very much.
Watch out, detective. I don't like Rod very much.
A chill ran down my spine. It was the kind of chill that would give you nightmares. It'd probably give you daymares too if there was such a thing. Whether Rod the busboy was guilty or not, it didn't matter anymore. And maybe the truth had died with him. Maybe this whole thing was finished. I was too late. Maybe not. Drop the knife. Okay, busboy. I'm investigating the death of Steve Warren Doffley-Hyphenstein. Everybody's pointing at you. So what's the story? Why'd you do it?
First of all, my name's not Busboy, it's Rod. Rod Muntz, and I didn't do it.
Afraid I can't take your word on that.
Of course you can't. Who would? I'm just a busboy, right?
Busboy or real estate agent, a murderer is not likely to tell the truth.
I ain't no murderer. You can't prove otherwise.
What proof do you have of that?
Because you don't have any proof.
So you're saying that you have proof that I don't have any proof? What's your proof?
Because I didn't do it.
That's not proof.
Proof enough for me.
Not proof enough for anybody else.
What do you know about proof?
I'm a detective. I deal in proof.
Prove it.
I can't. I don't have any proof.
Ah! Where's that knife?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
There's no solid proof that I'm guilty. There can't be. And I know because I'm innocent. But I did have a blow-up a while back, and I did get fired for it. So when I heard about Mr. Warren Doffley-Hyphenstein's murder, I knew somebody'd be knocking on my door sooner or later. I got motives, so I thought I might as well finish it myself. I've been stewing around here for the past 3 days, ever since I heard he was dead, trying to get up enough nerve to pull the plug on myself. Then I finally do, and the damn butter knife can't even break the skin.
You've known about his death for 3 days?
Yeah, he was killed 3 days ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the papers didn't publish anything until the day after, and Carol didn't even go to the police. She came straight to me. How'd you know he was dead so early on?
Because I knew who did it, or at least who was behind it.
Well, that information might be useful.
I'm sure you already knew that I'd been fired, and you may even know that I was fired the day of the murder, but there's a reason I was acting as strangely as I was.
I'm listening.
It was the night before, late. We'd had a popular band playing, so Mr. Warren Doffley-Hyphenstein decided to keep the place open for a little longer. He normally closes the doors at 11. It was like 2 in the morning, so I guess you could say it was the morning of the murder. Most of the crew had left. The kitchen closed the normal time, so the cooks were long gone. The waitresses cleared out the second Steve flipped the sign. So it was just me and 1 or 2 other busboys left to clean the place up while Steve tended to the cash register. The other busboys had just left. I was ready to go myself when it happened.
What happened?
There was a knocking at the back door. If it were up to me, I would have ignored it. Back door of a restaurant getting knocked on at 2 in the morning? Kinda creepy. And I would have thought that Steve would feel the same way, but no, he went straight through the kitchen to the back door and answered it.
Where were you for all this?
Behind the bar, taking my apron off. Steve had already given me a wave goodbye, so I guess he figured I was as good as gone. And I would have been, but I was curious who was knocking on the door this time of night.
Morning.
Whatever.
Sorry.
It was a guy by the name of Brewster. Mike Brewster.
You know the guy's name?
He introduced himself. Guess they'd never met before. But Steve obviously knew Brewster's boss, because apparently Mr. Warren Doffley-Hyphenstein had been paying him money.
Money?
Yeah, that's right. Money made from the pizzas the restaurant sells. I don't know how long this had been going on, but Steve didn't have the money. Don't know why. I worked at the place almost every day. Always brought in cash, but for some reason, Steve couldn't pay, and that wasn't good.
So it's a mob thing.
Maybe. Guess the pizza money was going out the back door a lot. That's why Steve strolled out to the alley so calmly. But when he didn't pay, Brewster gave him a solid punch to the gut and said he'd be back at midnight, and it'd be the last chance to pay up.
So Brewster, or his boss, is the one responsible.
Yeah, I scooted out as soon as Brewster left. I was worried for Steve, and my job. That's why I was acting so off.
You could have called the police.
I was scared. I didn't know how long Steve had been dealing with these people. Didn't know the extent of his involvement, how deep it went, and to be honest, feared for myself. Brewster's boss would have killed me if he found out. Towards the end of the day, I was really on edge, and I just lost it. That's when I trashed the table. That's when I got fired.
Steve obviously knew his time was numbered. Why wouldn't he skip town, go into hiding?
Wish I could tell you, Detective.
Guess you don't know where I could find this Mike Brewster, do you?
No, I wish I did. Wish I could help you more. You're a private detective, aren't you?
Yeah.
So whether you believe my story or not, it's not gonna help. The police are looking for me, and there's still nothing more than my word to clear me.
The police are looking for you, and you're right about clearing your name. Unless the real murderer is found, you'll be held accountable. Unless there's somebody else who can account for your whereabouts at the time of the murder.
Maybe Braxton, downstairs, but he's always got his nose buried in the newspapers, and I don't think he likes me very much.
Well, whether it helps or not, Rod, I believe you. And I'm gonna find this midnight murderer.
Good luck, Detective.
Keep yourself breathing. The police don't know your name or your address. It'll buy you some time.
You found me.
I'm not a cop. I flunked out of the academy.
Great.
I walked through the rain for a good hour. Or as good as an hour in the rain can be, anyway. I kept thinking, who is this Mike Brewster? And who's he working for? Why are they collecting pizza money? Why not something cool and tough sounding like protection money? And why does everybody wear a hat these days? I came up with more questions than answers, which was pretty easy, considering I didn't come up with any answers at all. I had a theory about the whole hat thing, but I thought better of it. What the hell was that about? What the hell's going on?
Somebody got shot.
Who?
Well, that's what we're here to find out, isn't it, Detective?
Alright.
Oh, hello again, Detective. I think I landed on my keys.
Sheila, who did this to you? Ow! What the?
Fresh.
Oh, sorry.
Get him for me, Detective. Get him for me.
Who? Get who?
Prove you're not the lame dick everybody says you are.
I'm a detective. It's not what you think, honest. Who did this to you, Sheila? What? Why'd they do it? What did he look like?
He wore a hat.
Back off. Time for the real cops to take over.
I won't ask for promises. I've got promises in my way. I just want a sign from you that you
Here, she's already gone though.
what I say. All I have is a little of your mind.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Local waitress shot to the chest. Possible link to the Warendorf-Leak-Heifenstein murder. Killer wears a hat. Is your guy a stud or a dud? Find out on page 4.
Got the paper you wanted.
Thanks, Milda. Diminished capacity. Gah. My mind had been racing ever since I found Sheila there, lying in her own blood, asking me to prove I was a dick. I couldn't concentrate on anything anymore. All I could think of was how uncomfortable my chair was, and why do I keep sitting in it? It was harder than an Arctic nipple.
Sam Gumshoe's here to see you, Dashiell.
Okay, Milda, door's open.
Hey there, Dashiell.
Hey, Sam.
I understand you were at the scene last night.
Not really. Saw the police cars, went to check it out.
You know her?
Talked to her about the case. She worked at East of Eaton.
You meet a lot of them in this business. The life of a dick. Can't be a coincidence. She worked in the same restaurant as Warren Doflik-Heifenstein.
She'd just been seen talking to me. The detective investigating the murder. Maybe somebody thought she told me something.
Could have been following her, maybe ever since the murder. Maybe she was being targeted from day one.
Or just being watched. Until she was caught talking to me.
This is too big for you to handle.
Wanda Warendorf-Leek-Heifenstein hired me to do a job, and I plan on finishing it.
Try the academy again. Leave this stuff to the big boys.
I'm not taking that test a 5th time. And that Midnight Murderer is all mine.
I've always tried to encourage you, kid, but I don't see it happening. You're gonna get yourself killed.
Bye, Sam.
Bye, James. Good luck, kid.
Then it hit me. East of Eaton was still up and running, and this guy Brewster, whoever he was working for, hadn't gotten his money yet. So now with new management and a register collecting cash, he'd probably be back. And this time, I was going to be there to catch him. God! Jeez. I sat in the shadows for the whole damn day. You might say I should have waited till night, and you might be right. But I was gonna solve this case. I was gonna prove I was a real dick, and at this point, I didn't have too many options. I'd never been on a real live stakeout before, and I'll be the first to admit it ain't all it's cracked up to be. You'd think sitting by yourself in a cold alleyway behind a dumpster would be pretty glamorous, but you'd be wrong. As the night got darker, I started to think about the dangers I was putting myself in. I was gonna load my revolver, and then I remembered I didn't have a revolver. I was starting to realize now that maybe a revolver would be a good investment. Here I was alone in a dark alley, waiting for a serial killer to show up. And if he did, what was I gonna do? Nothing, that's what. Nothing's all I could do. Unless I found something to hit him with. Ah. God! Huh? Searching for a weapon in a garbage can was like looking for an ice cube in the Sahara. I decided to give up on fighting. Maybe I could just follow him, find the hideout, then come back more prepared. Then something else hit me. If Steve Warendorf-Leek-Heifenstein was just holding out on these guys, maybe Brewster got the money then. And what if I was right? What if he was going to come back for the cash? What's to say it would be tonight of all nights? I decided to go home. I was right. He was here to collect, and I lucked out on the day. But if the new manager didn't have the money either, they'd be in just as much trouble as Steve was. I had to make a move. I had to intervene. Or did I? What if I was wrong? This guy certainly looked menacing enough. But if he wasn't the guy? What if he was just a friend of an employee? Before I started attacking a stranger, I had to be sure. Mike Brewster? I shouldn't have done that. Bad idea. I knew what was going to happen next, but there wasn't anything I could do about it. I got an extreme close-up of his face, and everything went black. As you can see, this is the second time I've been knocked out in this story. You might say I'm a klutz, a fool, but I call it character. And it's not like it had any long-term damage. Long-term damage. I don't know how long I was out, but I woke up in a dark room, tied to a chair, and just my luck. This chair was even more uncomfortable than the one in my office.
The wife got me these boxer shorts that might as well be made out of sand.
Who is that? You.
Hey, detective.
Who are you talking to? Oh my God, it's... Who the hell are you?
My name is Splitsmick. John Splitsmick.
Splitsmick? Splitsmick? What kind of name is Splitsmick? Dutch, I think. Maybe German. My parents didn't talk much. I see. I'm running this operation, detective. You might call me an entrepreneur. What? Never mind what it means. I'm the head honcho. Well, maybe you can answer some questions for me, Mr. Honcho. Shoot! Why are you killing these innocent people? Why are you collecting pizza money? Why not something cool like protection money? And why does everybody wear a hat these days? Or, wait, forget that last one. The answer is simple, detective. I like money. In most parts of town, I'm known as a simple businessman. I run a used car lot on 83rd and 7th. Uncle John's car lot? That's you? Uh-huh. I love your radio jingles. Thanks. You know my nephew wrote the lyrics to that.
Get out of here.
Yep, 10 years old, smart as a whip. I have a picture. Never mind. The world isn't cheap, detective. I had to pay $5 for this jacket I'm wearing.
That's inflation for you.
It's the underworld, the shadows, the parts of life that most people don't even know about. That's the real world, and that's where I'm king. I collect money from every restaurateur in town. Noodle money from Sen Youngs, cookie money from Jacob Gilbreth, steak money from Rick Blaine, taco money from Arturo Rangel, and pizza money from Steve Warendorf-Leek-Hyphenstein, now from Bobby Colfax. They know what happens if they don't pay. A few casualties over the years have proven that. It takes money to run a business, detective, and that's how I bought my first used car.
So, it's your basic thirst for power.
No, haven't you been listening? It's your basic thirst for money.
No. Well, okay, one more question, Splitsmick. Your goon here told Warendorf-Leek-Hyphenstein that he had until midnight to come up with the cash or he was dead. If he didn't have the money, why'd he show up?
Well, that, I'm afraid, I can't tell you, detective.
And why not?
Well, it wouldn't be much of a mystery if I told you everything, would it?
You've told me everything else.
I've only told you my secrets, and I'm afraid you won't be leaving with them. Get 'em, Mike!
With pleasure, boss.
Uh-oh.
Ooh! No. Oh, jeez. Ow! Jeez!
Well, you shot me.
Yeah.
And you were a terrible shot.
Well,
you'll never survive this.
We'll see.
I'll be back soon, honey. The dick's being taken care of.
I know. Yes. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yes, honey. Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Right. The jig's up, Splitsmick. Your racket is finished.
We'll see. Wait. What the hell?
Oh my god, a gun!
Hey, aren't you Robert Mitchum?
John Splitsmick, you're under arrest. Or citizen's arrest, or whatever my license lets me. That's when it all started to make sense. This girl singing, she was new. Much younger than the girl that was singing a few days earlier. But she had a striking resemblance to someone I'd met that same day. Sheila Lund. Steve Warendorf-Leek-Hyphenstein promised Sheila a chance on stage. One of the many promises that had been lost with his death. Sheila was fired, then killed for talking to me. And the clues were still talking.
Oh my god, you caught him. You caught him. This is him, isn't it? He killed my brother's, sister's, aunt's, uncle's, mother's, friend's son, didn't he?
You're right, Carol. This is John Splitsmick, and he killed your brother's, sister's, aunt's, uncle's, mother's, friend's son. And he's killed other restaurateurs in town. But you already knew that, didn't you?
What?
Splitsmick might have killed Steve, but you stabbed him in the back.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When your husband died and left you his share of this place, you got greedy, didn't you?
No?
You wanted to run the show, change things around, make it your very own, but Steve didn't like that. He wanted to keep things just the way they were, but you couldn't have that. And he also wanted to hire Sheila to sing here, didn't he? You wanted to hire someone younger. He was finally going to give Sheila her big break, so you killed Steve and fired Sheila before she could get a chance. You didn't want to waste any time taking this place over.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Then when Sheila was spotted talking to me, you got scared. You were worried those rumors about her and Steve were true. Maybe she knew more than you thought. So you had Splitsmick here kill her.
Wrong, Detective! I've never even heard of this Sheila. And this woman didn't hire me to kill Steve either. Everything I told you earlier was true. I killed him because he didn't pay up.
Then why'd you come here to kill me?
To make a point! Your body, the body of the detective investigating the murder, would have been found dead in the original crime scene.
Really?
But wait, this answers your question then.
My question?
You asked me earlier why Warendorf-Leek-Hyphenstein would still be at the restaurant without the money when he knew I was coming to kill him.
I don't follow.
This woman here, Carol was it?
Yes, Carol.
Carol must have known Steve was paying me pizza money. You just said yourself she's part owner.
Of course. Steve must have filled you in, or you'd wonder where the money was going. But because Steve was co-running this place before you even got involved, he was the one that dealt with Splitsmick.
Yeah, I knew. So what?
I always give my restaurateurs a last chance to pay up. An early warning that at midnight I collect. If they don't have the money, they don't show. They go into hiding, and I always find them. But Steve didn't try to hide. He was there waiting because he had the money.
Or at least he thought he did, until he went to open the safe and found it empty, because you took the money before Splitsmick got there, and before Steve would notice it missing.
She didn't hire me to kill Steve Warendorf-Leek-Hyphenstein. She just tricked him into ticking me off.
So you had more to do with this case than the Midnight Murderer himself. But how could you? Was this all your idea? Couldn't be. The restaurant closes at 11 o'clock, every night unless it's extra busy. Splitsmick starts his rounds at midnight, and Steve moved the money from the cash register to the safe before closing. So for you to nab the money in between without him noticing, you'd have to be invisible, because you don't normally hang around the place after 9. You'd miss your favorite radio show, The Adventures of the Thin Man.
I love that show!
Yeah, it's pretty good. So you couldn't be around without sticking out like a sore thumb.
But I wouldn't stick out.
No, you wouldn't. Because you're always around, right up till closing.
I was a model employee. I've been with Steve and Marvin right from the beginning. I handled business meetings for them, I watched their backs, I practically ran the show. I should have been partners with them, but I never even got a raise. Might as well admit it, Carol. He's got the whole thing figured out.
All right, it's true! When Marvin was here, I ran ideas by him all the time, and most of them made their way to Steve, and they'd do it. But once Marvin died, Steve had no interest in taking my ideas. Why listen to me, right? Well, he should have. Business dropped after Marvin's death. I could have saved it if he'd just listened to me.
Place is still pretty popular.
Shut up.
And I guess that busboy flipping out and getting canned, which is a stroke of luck, wasn't it? It just happened to be the day of the murder. The perfect patsy.
Everything would have been perfect. I even hired a private detective, one with absolutely no credentials to solve the case. I figured you wouldn't stand a chance of figuring it out, especially if I pointed you towards the busboy, the one without a name or personal life to speak of, and you might even get in the way of the real police.
Guess I proved you wrong then, didn't I, Carol?
I guess you did.
So, I guess this is it then, isn't it?
Afraid so, Detective. Too bad. Never thought you'd get this far. Any last requests?
Yeah. One more question.
What's that?
You two were very careful not to get any blood on your hands. You tricked John Splitsmick into killing Steve for you. So who killed Sheila?
That would be him.
No?
Don't think he's who he said he was, Dashiell.
What's going on?
Genius here was trying to sneak into the jail at the station. Shut up that hook of yours. I caught him sneaking in, and he ran like hell. A fast one, I can tell you that. Chased him out of the station and down the street for blocks. I ran into some other cops on their way here. Apparently you started quite a ruckus.
I stopped the ruckus, Sam. But how the hell does old-timer manage to keep away from you for blocks?
I'm no old-timer.
Who the hell are you? You can't just bring in a new guy like that. Whoa, this plot keeps getting thicker and thicker. Oh, I'm just saying, it seems unnecessarily complicated.
I'm Bert Westmore, another busboy and a master of disguise.
Carol spotted you talking to Sheila the day you questioned all of us, so I followed her. Once she went into the theater, I tied up the ticket clerk and took his place. And it was a good thing I did, because you weren't far behind.
You didn't have to kill her. She didn't tell me anything important.
I was the only one in this entire place that knew Rod Muntz's name. Nobody else knew a thing about him. Once you started asking me questions at the movie theater, not knowing who I was, I figured what was the harm in telling you. If you'd arrested him, this'd all be over by now.
And an innocent man would be behind bars.
Them's the breaks.
So why'd you get involved in the first place?
Because I beat every one of the kitchen staff at that knife finger game.
Knife? What?
You know, where you stab the table between your fingers really fast without hitting any flesh.
There's gotta be a better name for that.
I beat everybody at that. Everybody! I was king! Till Mr. Big Shot, Steve Warnoff-Leak-Stein decides he wants to play. He beat me. First try. That ticked me off enough. But then I noticed the skin between his fingers were getting red. He nicked himself. Maybe not deep, but enough to be declared loser if he'd been honest.
So he cheated at some stupid game. So what? That's not much of a motor.
Motor?
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 I think he means motive.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, anyway, once I heard Carol and Bobby talking about Splitsmick and the pizza money, I gladly joined in.
Bert was actually the brains behind the whole thing. He figured out how to make it all work.
So maybe it wasn't Rod Muntz, but it was a busboy.
I guess it was.
Cuff him, Sam.
Cuff him, boys.
Splitsmick's accomplice is in the back room.
You did good, kid.
Yeah. I did, didn't I? Wait, hang on a second. Whoop!
Ah!
That's for Sheila, you...
Oh, I landed on my keys.
What happened?
Milda, what are you doing here?
Sam called me once he got word what was going on. I finished a radio show I was listening to, had a quick shower and a bite to eat, then came straight over. Did you catch the Midnight Murderer?
Yeah, I did, Milda. I caught the Midnight Murderer. Only problem is the woman that hired me also got arrested, so I guess I still owe you.
You did a fine job, Dashiell. Maybe the precinct can comp you.
No need, Sam. I have a feeling I'll be getting a lot more work now.
Dash!
Uh-oh. I gotta go. So there you have it. In the town of Palookaville, when a whole heap of trouble lands on your doorstep, give me a call. James Dashiell, professional dick.
All I ask is a little of your time, just a little of your heart, just a part I can claim. All I want is a moment in your life, just a moment in your day when you say my name. I won't ask for promises, I've got promises in my way. I just want a sign from you that you hear what I say. All I have is a little of your mind, just the little I can find before you turn away. Please stay for a little of my life, for a little of my heart breaks every day. I won't ask for promises, I've got promises in my way. I just want a sign from you that you hear what I say. All I have is a little of your mind, just the little I can find before you turn away. Please stay for a little of my life, for a little of my heart breaks every day.